The heroine of this story is a lonely, elderly woman who lived in a small Siberian village near the forest. When escaped convicts decided to break into her home, they thought they would encounter no problems. How could an old woman possibly hinder them? However, when the criminals crossed the threshold of her house, they encountered something they did not expect at all. The story began when some village hunters came across a wolf den with cubs in the forest. There were 3 little predators in the den. The hunters needed only 2 wolf cubs, but took the 3rd one as well, planning to give it away later. On their way back, the hunters passed by our heroine's house. Knowing she was alone and loved animals very much, they decided to leave the wolf cub with her, aware that she had always kept dogs before. When the woman came out and saw the animal, she immediately realized someone had deliberately left it there. Mistaking it for a puppy, she sheltered it to have a guard dog for her home. And of course, since she loved animals so much, she simply couldn't leave this little one to fend for itself. The wolf cub immediately befriended Musya, the old woman's cat. He grew up very affectionate, kind, and playful. Although he was a predator, there was not a trace of aggression in his behavior. The woman named her pet Misha. He always responded to his name and joyfully ran to his owner. For some time, the old woman had no doubt that Misha was just an ordinary dog. By the time she realized he was not a dog at all, but a real wolf, it was too late to do anything about it. She had already become very attached to him, as he had to her. She realized it when, one day at the store, a neighbor approached her and asked, "So how's your wolf doing?" Then it all became clear. She had often wondered why Misha never barked and didn't really look like an ordinary dog. But now it didn't matter at all to the old woman what kind of pet he was. The wolf cub lived right in the hut. The neighbors' houses were far away, and the woman calmly walked her pet every day. Even if there were people nearby, Misha remained as good-natured as always. The predator never ran away from his owner and showed not a trace of aggression. And so a whole year passed. During this time, of course, things were very difficult for our heroine. After all, it's hard to feed a huge wolf. The old woman's pension was very small. She couldn't always afford to buy meat, but she never even thought of sending the beast back to the forest. The old lady always found some food for the predator, and even vitamins. One day, a rumor spread through the village that convicts had escaped from prison and were in the nearby forest. And one evening, when our heroine was watching TV, someone knocked on her door. The wolf became nervous, but the woman calmed him, thinking it was one of the neighbors. It never occurred to her that those very criminals could be near her home. She went outside and was immediately struck on the head. After that, the 3 criminals burst into the house and were simply dumbfounded by what they saw. A real wolf standing before them. And he did not look friendly at all. The predator growled and did not take his eyes off the bandits. One of the criminals wanted to shoot, and then the beast pounced on him. The others ran out of the house and rushed towards the forest. The wolf immediately followed them. But outside, he ran up to his owner lying on the ground and began licking her face. The criminal who had remained in the house now also came outside and shot the wolf, wounding him in the hind leg. After that, the bandit wanted to flee, but fortunately all 3 were soon apprehended. Local residents, noticing 3 suspicious people heading towards our heroine's house, immediately called the police. But still, if it weren't for the gray predator, many terrible things could have happened that evening. When the old woman came to a bit, she immediately remembered the day when the little wolf cub appeared near her house. Then she thought it was just a puppy, and when she found out it was a real predator, her attitude towards it didn't change at all. She also recalled that she decided to keep the animal because her home needed a guard. But then she couldn't have imagined that this tiny wolf cub would one day not only protect her home, but also save her from dangerous criminals. Thanks to a veterinarian's help, the wolf recovered in a month. Now he was energetic and cheerful again. Life returned to normal for him and his owner. But after everything that happened, the predator became too wary of any stranger, and perhaps not without reason. They say there is no beast more formidable than man, and this story only confirms those words. See you soon.